Guys, welcome back to my channel. It is the end of a month, the beginning of a new one. It is April 2nd. So I am going to do my wrap up plus my monthly haul for you guys to see. If you want to see any of the unboxings, please go to my TikTok because the unboxings are there. So for this month, I read 9 books. Plus 2 rereads. One reread we do not talk about, and the other reread we talk about as little as possible. So we're going to move past those. They're my nighttime, sleepy time reads anyways. So we did 9 books with an average of like a 4-star rating because most of them were 4s and 5s. I had 3,885 pages read this month. I had a good month. I mean, I had one disappointment, but I mean, really in the group, one disappointment is not going to be a big deal. So I figured I will start from the top and work my way down and do my best to give them to you in order. I do have a couple that I don't have physically that I got from the library. So those ones I will put here. The first book that I read is Before I Let Go. For the month of February, I tried to do my best to read all Black authors, and this one I started in February and finished at the beginning of March. I really enjoyed her, and I really enjoyed this book and this author. It was absolutely fantastic. I love it when I am able to find a possible new favorite. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping that she's going to be a new favorite of mine. I've heard meh things about the book, but I don't know what they're talking about. This book was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So loving it. Happy. So excited. The next book I read, I do not physically have. It is Emily Wilde's Map to the Otherlands. This book was also super cute. It is kind of a urban fantasy-ish world. So Emily Wilde, the first book was about this professor at like Cambridge or something, I don't remember, in the UK, and I am not there, and I don't know what the different schools are in the UK, but she goes and she's trying to write an encyclopedia about different fairies. This one is a direct sequel. It picks up pretty much where the last one left off, and there will be a 3rd book to this group. They leave off on, where there's gonna be another book, but you're not on a serious cliffhanger. It's just kind of like a pause, and you're looking forward to what's coming next. That's kind of how these end. They always end really well, which I very much appreciate, because it means that I am not left with a serious cliffhanger. I'm just left with a we'll see you later, which I like. So loved it, thought it was great, very cozy. The first one was definitely better, but this one was still really good. Okay, so the 3rd book that I read this month was Summer Nights. This one is one of those cute little fluffy romances that nothing really happens. It's cozy, it's sweet. I very much enjoy them, and they are some of my favorite books to read when I just need a little something. I did read it physically. It does take me a hot minute to read it. I had started it before, but I didn't remember anything, so I just restarted the whole thing. Susan Mallory is an older lady, and she writes very hetero white books. You can tell that she's trying to add a little bit more non-hetero in there and a little bit more non-white in there, but still most of her books are that way. So just to give you a fair warning that they're not going to find much else. If I run across one that is, I will 100% let you guys know. So far it's just the way it is. And you know what? I'm trying to read diversely when it comes to most of my books, and occasionally this is going to happen, and I'm okay with that. They're cute. This is the 8th one in the Fool's Gold series. I do have most of the series at this point, and I just pick them up occasionally and read them. It's not highbrow information here. It's just a goofy, sweet romance. And then I read The Very Secret Society of Regular Witches. I've heard nothing but good things about this book until recently. I have heard a couple of meh things about this book. The meh being about the romance itself. which I 100% do understand. So this is about a girl whose name I have forgotten because I'm really bad with names. Mika. Mika is a witch. In this world, all witches are orphans, and she was raised by another witch. But she didn't have, much contact with said witch because she's been taught her whole life that you need to keep distance from each other. She is found by this random guy who is needing a tutor for these little girls who are also witches that have all been adopted together. And she's really worried about going and being part of this because she's worried about the exposure and what happens if someone finds them out. There is a little romance in this. It does have a very House on the Cerulean Sea feel. It's got low stakes with a little twist at the end. And I did figure the twist out fairly early on, but it was still really cute. I really, really enjoyed it. I think that this is going to be an author that I'm definitely going to want to pick up from in the future, and very, very, very sweet book. Yeah, let me know if you read it, if you liked it, what you thought of it, because I do want to find more people who also were loving this book like I was. The next book I read is from Blood and Ash. This one is one of those books that I've been told forever to read and just never got around to doing. And my friend Nikki and my friend Carrie have been like trying to peer pressure me into reading it, and Nikki started rereading it and she's like, look, I'm rereading it, you should read it with me. So I read it with her. I loved it a lot. It was so good. They keep telling me that I know nothing because the world is so expansive that the amount of stuff that I learned in this book is just nothing in comparison. It is a book about this girl who lives in a society that where you ascend. And when you ascend, you become immortal, and everybody is taught to want to ascend, but apparently there's a lot of secrets about ascending that nobody knows about, or at least very few people know about. And she is special in that group because she is the maiden, and they have plans for her. As you read the book, you start to figure out what's going on. I don't know exactly what is on the back of this book because I have not read it, but I love Poppy. I love Hawk. There is definitely a romance in here. It is very heavily romantic, so it is definitely a romantasy. It does not, I don't know if this book would stand without the romance, but it definitely wouldn't stand without the fantasy, but I think it really needs the romance also, so it's just very much a 50-50 type of split. But yeah, I liked it a lot. It was very action-packed. And then this is the last book that I read this month, but I'm going to add it in because they go together. And the last book I read this month was number 2. This is The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I did not like this one as much. So this one was a rating 5 stars. This one's a 4. This was a lot of traveling and a lot of discussions, but it wasn't great. I didn't love it. I did like it a lot, and I am looking forward to continuing the series. This was definitely not my favorite. All right, and then back to the list. I actually read a couple of sequels. I also read the sequel to this one. The sequel to this one is called This Could Be Us, and it is about one of the friends. So this one was about Yasmin. The next one, the second one was about Solace. I will put the picture here for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like. It was really, really good. I absolutely loved it. Kennedy said that her next one is coming out in the spring, and it will be about Hendrix, which makes me so happy. These are a series of best friends and them finding their loves. The first one was about Yasmin, and she had gotten divorced from her true love, and they had a bunch of reasons why, very logical, understanding reasons why they got divorced. And then it's about them coming back together again. Versus Soledad, her story is very different. She is in a marriage that is very toxic, and it's about her getting out of it and falling in love with herself. which I adored. I am definitely not in either of those positions. I am happily married to the same person that I've been with since I was 15. So I don't understand those dynamics, but it's really, really great to read a book from somebody in my age range. That we're not talking about a 20-year-old here. We're talking about 30 somethings, even 40s. And it was nice to read a book that I can understand that goes, I've been through really complicated marriage situations. And so I understand a lot of the crap that they're going through. And I very much appreciate that this one also has really great autism rep. If you don't know, I have 3 kids, and one of my kids is most likely autistic. We don't have a formal diagnosis yet, but when he went in to get his ADHD diagnosis, they also tested him for autism, and the doctor said that since he is not able to formally diagnose him, he's still not formally diagnosed, but the doctor said he is definitely autistic. And it was really great to read a book about kids who are also autistic and being able to understand the frustrations and the pitfalls of being a parent of one of those children. And to me, it was very heart-wrenching and very I felt like I connected with Soul, and I felt like I connected with the relationship with the I can't remember what his name is. I'm terrible with names in real life. I'm very terrible with names in books, but Soul's love interest has kids that have autism, and she gets to meet them, and you get to see them from his point of view as well as her point of view. And it was nice to be able to have that rep and to see that love for these kids that are just interact with the world a little differently. And I very much felt seen and loved when I read this. And I'm very much looking forward to Hendrix's book. All right, so the next book I'm going to talk about is The Cartographers. This one was a meh book for me. I gave it 2.5, 3 stars. I really, really liked the premise behind it, but I didn't like how it was played out. Like, I don't know how to describe this. So this is about a girl. I don't remember. What is her name? Nell. I told you I'm terrible with names. Nell is a cartographer, as well as her mother and father before her. The book starts off with her father's dying, and they thought it was natural, and then it turns out that there was a lot of like weird things going on, and so maybe it wasn't so natural. He worked at the New York Public Library, and right after he passed away, the library got broken into and got ransacked, but nothing got stolen. And so it starts this big mystery off of what's going on, why is somebody targeting the library. And it was just one of those books where I really liked the premise of it, but it felt like it went on for way too long. The book isn't even 400 pages, and it just felt too long. I did figure out one of the twists well before the characters did, but it is told from several points of view. So one of the main characters is Nell, one of them is her love interest, and then there's little snippets from other people in her life. They're just like little short like stories, and they're under their names. But you know, honestly, I did like it okay, which is why I'm in the meh 3s. So the 2.5 to 3, I am not gonna keep it. I'm definitely gonna unhaul it, but it is very much a character-based book, and I always thought that I only cared about was character-based books, that I didn't need any plot. Apparently I was wrong. I need a little plot, and this just didn't have enough of it. I just need a little more. So yeah, man. All right, the last book that I'm going to talk about today, which was the second to the last book that I read, is Bride. This is not the original cover. I can put the original cover here so you guys can see it. This is Ali Hazelwood's new book. It's a contemporary urban fantasy about werewolves and vampires and humans. And this book was absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. It was super cute. It definitely has the STEM side that all of Ali Hazelwood's books have. Plus it had werewolves and vampires. And I thought it was wonderful. And I definitely hope that she writes more from this world, because I would love to see more of these characters. Not necessarily these characters, but you know, she's really great about writing all of her books so they're interconnected, so they all have some of like her original Love Hypothesis books. All of them were they were all in the same realm, so the characters would like cameo each other. I would love to see more cameos. I would love to see more of this world. I think it sounds like so much fun. And it is an arranged marriage between a vampire and a werewolf. And if you're anything like me, that's enough information. So what I'm reading right now is I just started Ink Blood Sister Scribe. I'm feeling very Cartographers about that one too. It's just, it feels, but I'm a third of the way through it, so we'll see. And then I'm also reading the third book in the Blood and Ash books. I am only like 7 chapters into that one, so I'm not very far. But so far, doing okay. If you guys have any suggestions of any books that I should read, let me know, because I'm always interested in having some more ideas of what to pick off of my humongous shelf. And I always need help picking my next book. Right now it's kind of like I will put a bunch of books into my library app, and whatever comes up available is what I'll read. So yay. Anyways, that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys again in another video soon. Bye.